Hey everyone, welcome back to Chaotic Strategies TCG. Today I'm going to go over one of my all-time favorite decks. I absolutely love this deck, and that is Endymion. Guys, Endymion is, since it released, was just, I'm a big fan of spellcaster decks, and this one by far takes the cake. I'm a big Dark Magician fanboy, always have been, always will be, but Endymion just put a whole different aspect to spellcasters. Absolutely love this deck. If you don't know much about Endymion, pretty much everything revolves around spell counters, using Citadel of Endymion to stack spell counters. A lot of your Endymion based monsters use spellcasters to activate effects, to special summon. Very pendulum heavy, so you can special summon pendulums from there. Just a very well rounded deck. Stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll kind of go over what some of the cards do as far as combos and stuff go, so that way you guys have a better understanding of how the deck works. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe bell, hit that notification bell, so you guys are always up to date on videos that I am pumping out weekly. And with that, here's the video. and that is the deck profile for my Endymion deck for the June 2020 format. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck. I mean, this deck's a lot of fun. I absolutely love playing Endymion. It's one of my, like I said earlier, it's one of my all-time favorite decks. Unfortunately, this deck, along with a lot of other Pendulum decks, took a pretty massive hit a couple ban lists ago. This deck, Conservative Endymion, got limited down to 1, and Heavy Metal Flow's Electromite got banned completely, which just annihilated a lot of Pendulum decks. But in Dual Overload, we got a new card for Endymions, pretty well specifically for the Endymion deck, and that is Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians. She is a Link 3 versus Electromite that was a Link 2, and she requires 2+ monsters, including a spellcaster, to get out onto the field, and that's why I run IP Masquerena in this deck, so that way you can either get to Selene or get to Nightmare Unicorn to run some bigger plays there, especially during your opponent's turn. You can go into Nightmare Unicorn, discard a card, bounce one of their cards off the field back to their hand, so that kind of saves you a little bit there. Selene's effect is if this card is Link Summon, you can place spell counters on this card equal to the number of spells on the field and in the graveyard, so you could really just massively stack counters onto her. And then while an Endymion card is on the field, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks, so that's great. Since you're running, the whole deck is pretty much Endymion, as long as there's one on the field, they can't target her specifically for attacks, which is fantastic. And then once per turn during the main phase, this is going to be a quick effect. You can remove 3 spell counters from anywhere on your field and special summon 1 spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position to any zone that this card points to. So very good for helping you get into your bigger Link plays. You can go to Borrow Sword, Borrow Load, Zephyron. There's a number of different things that you can do. Also, as you guys saw, I run a small morphage engine to kind of help lock your opponent out of the extra deck. Everybody's kind of extra deck heavy going on right now with this new format, which I can't blame them. This new format's amazing for the extra deck. So a Morphage Goliath is in there to kind of lock them out of that from making those big plays. You've got several ways that you can get a Morphage Goliath out. One of those is Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. Fantastic. Once he's synchro summoned, you can target one of the monsters that's in your pendulum zone and special summon it. So if you put Goliath in your pendulum zone, you can special summon Goliath that way. The other way also is Chronograph Sorcerer. If you have Chronograph Sorcerer in your hand and you have a Morphage Goliath also in your hand. So Chronograph Sorcerer, his monster effect is if a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then special summon 1 monster from your hand as well. So Chronograph Sorcerer is also another very fast way to get a Morphage Goliath out onto the field, but just remember that you are also locked out of the extra deck as well. So going into a Morphage right off the bat probably isn't going to be your best bet. He's mildly high as far as attack goes, but he can still be popped pretty easily. So you want to make sure you have your negates set up using Mythical Beast Jackal King. You want to have your Mighty Master onto the field. Have those guys onto the field so that way you can use the counters and negate your effects. Other than that, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, break that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you guys are always notified on videos that I'm pumping out weekly. Look up at the banner. We've got all of our social media that we are currently on right now. You can click on any one of those. It'll take you directly to our social media pages. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord. We are all over the place. So with that, I hope you guys are being safe out there. Wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.